Divesting gone wrong. Marsha A. Hunt. Black women with biracial children that no white man wants. Marsha A. Hunt, born April 15, 1946, is an American actress, novelist, singer, and former model who has lived mostly in Britain and Ireland. She achieved national fame when she appeared in London as Dion in the long-running rock musical Hair. She briefly lived in Edinburgh, Scotland, before returning to London, where she became a backing singer with Alexis Corner's trio Free at Last. She then met and began a short relationship with musician John Mayall, inspiring Mayall's songs Marsha's Mood and Brown Sugar. Take a look at the lyrics to Brown Sugar. Although Hunt indicates that she had no great musical talent, she worked as a singer for 18 months after arriving in England, intending to earn her fare back home. She seemed obsessed with white men. In late 1966, Hunt met Mike Ratledge of Soft Machine. Hunt was having trouble getting a visa extension to stay in England, so she proposed to Ratledge. Ratledge and Hunt were married on April 15, 1967. The Soft Machine were heavily booked and there was no time for a honeymoon, but Ratledge and Hunt were able to spend 2 months together before the band headed for France later that year. Hunt said in 1991 that she and Ratledge never held hands and never kissed, though he comes for Easter. But that's what we called married. While the two have remained good friends, Hunt says the secret to a happy marriage is to separate immediately. She's been married to him for 40 years. They never divorced. She laughs and recalls with a mischievous giggle that when they got to their 40th wedding anniversary, she called him up and said, jokingly, "We should renew our vows." Asked when did she stop being with this man, she says that this conversation we are not going to have. "I'm still married, but I'm not married." This is why interracial relationships are called tragic arrangements. They are fake and built on lies. Next. Marsha and Mick Jagger started dating in 1969. Hunt said that she met Mick Jagger in 1969 when the Rolling Stones asked her to pose for an ad for Honky Tonk Women, which she refused to do because she didn't want to look like she'd just been had by all the Rolling Stones. Side note, the word honky comes from the time where white men would drive to a black neighborhood and beat their horns. Black women would then run out to the white man's car for services. Matter of fact, many black women in interracial adult movies would shoot this scenario where a black woman would be in a car yard or lot and a gang of white men would all take turns smashing her from behind in every hole. Moving on. Jagger called her later, and their 9 or 10-month affair began. According to Christopher Sanford's book Mick Jagger, Rebel Knight, Hunt told journalist Frankie McGowan that Jagger's shyness and awkwardness won her over, but that their relationship was conducted mostly in private because their social scenes were very different. According to Tony Sanchez in Up and Down with the Rolling Stones, Jagger considered proposing to Hunt, but did not because he did not think he loved Hunt enough to spend the rest of his life with her, while Hunt, for her part, did not think they were sufficiently compatible to cohabit satisfactorily. The relationship ended in June 1970, when Hunt was pregnant with Jagger's first child, Karis. According to Hunt, the pair planned the child but never intended to live together, and the two agreed that Jagger would be an absent father. In London, November 1970, Hunt gave birth to Jagger's first and her only child, Karis. In 1973, when Karis was 2 years old, Hunt asked the courts in London for an affiliation order against Jagger, and after 3 hearings, Mick agreed to pay into a £10,000 trust for Karis, plus £500 a year, in an out-of-court deal. However, Jagger's lawyers bizarrely insisted his former lover sign papers saying he was not the father. He agreed to set up a trust fund for Karis until she reached 21, but he was allowed to deny his paternity on record. In 1978, Hunt filed a paternity suit in Los Angeles asking for $580 a week. At the time, Hunt was unemployed and received welfare payments. In 1979, Hunt won the paternity suit, saying she wanted only to be able to say to my daughter, when she's 21, that I didn't allow her father to neglect his responsibilities. Now there is some overlap with the next white man. In 1969, Hunt met Mark Bolan during a T-Rex recording session. Tony Visconti noted that when the pair met, you could see the shafts of light pouring out of their eyes into each other. Detailing further, he added, "We finished the session unusually early, and Mark and Marsha walked out into the night hand in hand." While Hunt claimed that her and Boland's relationship was based on more than just sexual attraction, her commercial success was at odds with Boland's ideals of art being tainted by commercial viability, and it did not last long. So she was going back and forth between two white men like it was nothing. Divestors have bedroom fun with a lot of white men, and as you can see, they are always in agreement to keep it secret. The only difference between Marsha and the average black woman of that time is that Marsha has a biracial child that she didn't want to blame black men for. She wanted everyone to know that Mick Jagger was her daughter's father. He wanted no parts. Divesting gone wrong.